moment. Let's begin to bring the energy into the present moment here. So let's inhale, like you're breathing into your arms, your legs. And exhale through the mouth. Again. Just trying to breathe into the lower lungs here. Feel that sense of expansion. And whenever you naturally would exhale, blow it out through the mouth. And do 3 more like that, just being the observer. Maybe 1 more now. And now just stretch your arms out to the sides. Step your feet up onto the mat, separate them wide. And begin to drop the knees all the way right and then all the way left. Do this slowly so the knees get a chance to fully drop. You get to work on the inner hip capsule and the outer part as well. One more round. Good. And now come back to center, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, flex that right foot, and as you have 2 options. Either option 1, press your right knee away from you. Option 2, do all that, but pull your left knee into your chest, and maybe you can use your right elbow to press the right knee away from you. Just get into that right glute area here and breathe. And you can make it a habit that when you exhale, you press the knee out a little bit more. And then soften a little for the inhale. One more. Great. We will take the belt already, put it around the right foot and extend that leg to the ceiling. Left leg flat to the ground at this point. Good. Rather give it some more slack in your belt than having the knee too bent. So try to get the knee pretty straight. Flex the foot to get into the calf. Feel free to move back and forth. One more breath. And let's lower the leg all the way to the right. On your next in-breath, come up. Make the leg very straight now. Keep your sacrum on the ground and draw the leg a little over to the left. So the idea here is to have a straight knee, and the leg only goes maybe as wide, as far over as your left shoulder is in that same line, but then pull the leg, the foot toward that left shoulder as your thigh bone presses away from you. Nice IT band stretch if you're tight in the outer leg here. One thing I want you to notice in this pose, and you notice if you've been in my classes, your right hip shouldn't hike up. Press that outer hip crease down, even if you use your hands. Take one more deep breath. And back to center, lower both legs down for a moment, take a breath. Reach your arms overhead, inhale. bring them back down, exhale. Step your feet on the ground. Let's cross left ankle and right thigh and do that same variation you did for the first side. Here again for pigeon. Put your mind, your awareness into your left glute. That's what you want to feel right now. One more. Grab the belt, put it around your left foot and extend that leg to the ceiling. Right leg slides flat. Remember all the cues here. Feel that nice sensation of unwinding. Imagine you're lifting your heel up to the ceiling to get more into the calf. So finish your breath here, and then we'll go to the left, all the way over. Go as far as you can without losing your balance here, meaning don't tip to the left, so you can embrace your core set here. Think of your right hip being very heavy. On your next inhale, come back up. Now make the leg very straight. Give it more slack if you need to, and draw that leg across the body a little to the right. Your sacrum flush on the floor, so there's no twisting happening in your hips whatsoever. Good, and now that left foot is pulling toward the right shoulder. Left hip crease sinks toward your right heel. Feel that nice unwinding again, 2 more breaths. Good, bring it back. And let's lower that leg down as well. Whew, good, all right, let's take a block. Step your feet on the mat, put the block between your inner thighs. And now I'd like you to interlock your hands lightly behind your head. And make sure you don't close off your throat, so don't tuck your chin to the throat. Think of there's a lot of openness in the front of your neck here. Looking at the ceiling helps. Good, now option 1, keep your feet on the floor. Option 2, shins parallel to the floor. The only thing I have to tell you here, don't let your spine arch off the ground. Press your back ribs into the floor and engage your stomach muscles. And well, let's do 12 tiny crunches on the exhale. Lift up just a little. And as you do, keep going. That's about 3 now. 4. I want you to think of bringing your front rib cage down toward your belly button as you go up. Let's say that's about 6, 7, 8, 9, belly in, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Micro movements are just enough here. So release your head down, drop your knees apart. Soles of the feet connect, and let's grab the belt. And depending on how your shoulders feel today, maybe even raise your arms overhead, holding that belt. It's more stable if your hands are close together on the belt than if they're wider. So whatever floats your boat today. One more. Good. Release your arms down. Now, since we're working on the core, let's do the back as well. Step your feet on the mat. Take your arms into a cross across your chest. Now, for most women, we have a bigger arch in our low back than the boys, right? So rotate your tailbone slightly under and then lift your hips off the ground into a bridge. That way you get the neutral hip versus an arched back. Good, so option, you just hold it here. Option 2, 20 times. Lift one leg, then lift the other leg. We're still in bridge. I'm just having my hips down. Your hips are in the air. That's about 4, 5. You need so many little muscles here to stabilize yourself here. That's 7, 8. Your hips are pretty square. They don't tip side to side. That's about 10, 11. Make sure you don't travel off to one side. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, still in bridge, 17, 18, upper back and neck relaxed, and 20. Good. Release your hips down and go back to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet connect. Take one hand somewhere on your chest, one on the belly somewhere. I like where the rib cage parts, where your diaphragm is. And just take a couple deep breaths into your hands. Notice that energy flowing through the body already. All right, let's bring it up to seated. Good, let's cross right ankle in front of left. Take your hands onto your knees. And we'll start with our spine. So with the hands cupping over the knees. Pull a little on the knees so it will enable you to sit up tall. And then roll the shoulders down the back. Make sure there's no stiffness in your back muscles. It's an upward energy versus a pushing forward. So find that nice, easy pose. Good. And now let's just start with the head. Inhale, lift your chin up, stretch your throat, teeth together. Exhale, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lift your chin up. This time, push your chest forward a little bit. Exhale, tuck your chin in and draw the chest back into the body, round your shoulders forward. Do that once more. Inhale, chin lift, chest forward, shoulder blades back. Exhale, tuck your chin, chest in, shoulders forward. Come back to a neutral spine here. And let's start again with the head. Going into our twist to the right, turn your head as far over the right shoulder as you can and just organically let the whole spine follow. And then left hand to right knee, right hand behind you or around the low back. Looking over that right shoulder. Good. Stay with the arms as you are, just look forward. Now raise your right arm to the right ear and side bend to the left. Left hand is still holding your right knee. Good. Come back to center now. Roll the shoulders once or twice. And let's extend your right leg out to the right. Bend your knee a little. You know this one. Clasp your hands into a basket. Inhale, reach up. Do that same movement we just did. Tuck your chin in, draw your chest back, and hook the hands over the right foot and drop your forehead onto your right knee. So big rounding in your upper back. Feel like a cat stretch here. Core engaged. Good. Brace that core again. Come up. And release your hands down. And let's do wild thing also. Take your right foot behind you. You can just lean back. We're just looking for stretching the right quad or lift your hips. And join us later. Make sure you're on mute, please. Good. And come back. So we're almost in that pose that I want to go into. It's again for the hips. So what you do from wild thing, slide both heels away from your body. So when you look down at your legs, you have two 90-degree angles in your legs. And I want you to turn your chest over the left shin. So walk your hands over toward your left foot or shin and lower to the forearms. One more breath. Good. Make sure you unmute, please. Good. Let's come up and shake out your legs for a moment. Good. Other side. Let's cross the left shin in front of the right, hands to the knees. And here we're just going to do a few rotations. Feel like you want to sweep your chest on the floor in front of you.
Morning.
Sitting cross-legged, left shin in front, and we'll go into our twist, starting with the head. Crown tall, turn head left. Organically turn the whole spine left also. Left hand behind you. Turn your head forward. Lift your left arm. And side bend to the right. Good. Come back to center. And extend your left leg out left. Bend your knee as much as you need to. You know from the first side how flexible you are today. Hands clasp into a basket. Inhale. Tuck your chin, round your spine, and hook your hands over the left foot. You know the drill, that big cat stretch. And now as you're extending through the muscles that surround your rib cage, think of really breathing into your back ribs, your side ribs, to stretch all those big muscles there. Come back up, inhale. And release your arms down. Swing your left foot behind you. Wild thing, right hand behind you. And let's lift the hips up or just lean back like I am. Release down. Look at your legs. Make two 90-degree angles with your legs. So it could be challenging on your left inner hip here. That's good, right? Unless, of course, it hurts. Flex your feet. Now lean over your right shin. Bring your hands as close to your right foot as you can and maybe drop to the forearms. Good, let's come up and we will move on to all fours here. Spread your hands, shoulders over your wrists, hands about shoulder width apart, and let's begin arching and rounding. Everything is part of that. The nodding of the neck, the tucking of the tail, just pay attention. Two more. Good. Neutral spine. Stretch. I'll start with the left. Let's start with the left. Stretch your left leg back. And then you don't need your hands today. We're just going to work the leg. 5 times I want you to bend your knee to your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just a movement at the hip. And 5. Now keep the leg extended. The heel is as high as your butt, and 5 times draw your heel in toward your butt. You should feel this a little bit in your quad. 2, 3, shoulder blades broad. 4, and 5. Now feel the heel point to the ceiling. Flex your foot and 5 times. Donkey kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Release down to all fours. Tuck your toes for a moment. Sit back to your heels. Roll the shoulders or the wrists or both. And then let's come to all fours again. Shoulder blades broad. Core in. Stretch your right leg back now. 5 times, pull it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Extend the leg, keep it extended. 5 times, pull heel to glute. 1, 2, keep that knee high. 3, don't collapse into your shoulders, keep the blades broad. 4, and 5. Keep the knee bent, heel facing the ceiling. 5 donkey kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release down. Good. Tuck your toes, lower to the forearms, walk your knees back a little bit, and now we're just going to do stretch puppy pose. Sink your chest back and down. Feel like your head wants to come to the floor. Maybe it will. And feel that now stretching your shoulders. Either go back and forth or stay. As the puppy, you have the tail high up in the air. If you don't feel a stretch, you need to walk your elbows forward more. And if you feel a pinching in the front shoulder or top shoulder, don't do this pose today. One more breath. Good. You guys are going to shift right into a forearm plank from here. I'll verbally instruct for a while. So remember, in your forearm plank, we're looking for that neutral hip again. So make sure your tailbone doesn't stick up. Draw the tailbone back to the heels and draw your front hip points into your body a little. Slight scoop. And if you can engage your your glute muscles in addition to your abs, then you know your pelvis is neutral. Squeeze your glutes and abs, squeeze your quads. You're still in forearm plank, pushing that floor away with your forearms for 3, 2, 1, and lay down onto your belly. Good. Turn your head to one side, relax for a moment. Take deep breaths. All right. So we're still lying on the belly, arms down by your sides, legs straight behind you. Maybe your legs are together. Same neutral hip alignment, right? Pubis on the floor. Now, forehead on the ground. On an inhale, peel your head and then the chest off the floor. If okay, interlock your hands behind your back. Lift the chest forward and up. Now, I know this is hard, but think of making your low back broad and open. Your feet are on the floor. And lower back down. Turn the head to the other side and relax. And you can always hold the pose longer if you really feel it's the essence of it. Sometimes you want to kind of refine it for a moment. Take another breath on the floor. Good. Set up a cobra. Set your hands to the sides of your chest. Let your elbows draw in toward each other. Legs strong. Engage everything. Inhale, lift your head and chest off the ground. If you can, press your hands into the floor. Maybe your chest can lift another inch. So now you should feel this in your triceps. Any joint pain, and you're not going to do this variation. You can always keep your weight off the hands. Otherwise, press the hands into the floor. Use your arms here. The belly button is still on the ground for one more inhale. And release down, exhale. Turn the head to the right. Grab your right ankle behind you. Stretch your quad. Good, release. Turn your head to the left and grab your left quad. Good, release down. Legs straight, separate the feet at least hip width. With that neutral hip position still, press your hands into the floor for outward facing dog. This time your hips are suspended in the air and drawing back to the feet. Press the floor away with your arms, lift through the crown and the chest. One more inhale. And push to child's pose. Exhale. 3 breaths, knees wide or together. Great, and then take it to a downward facing dog. So whenever we have our limbs, whatever contacts the floor, in other words, right now think of your hands. Make your hands and wrists very strong, so feel like you're gripping that mat with the fingers like claws, right? So we're not just hanging out on our wrists. We're building strength here. Same with our feet. Whenever our feet stand on the ground, whether it's in down dog or a standing pose, make the feet a gripping action and make those ankles strong and sturdy. With all that said, in down dog, tread it out. Press one heel down, then the other. Sway your hips side to side a little. And now walk your feet to hands. Hands to feet, feet to hands, wherever you are, end up in a forward bend and just take a few cleansing breaths. Listen to your breathing. Good. And come rolling up to standing. Stand for one breath, just absorb the energy. Good, grab your block again, put it between your inner thighs. In standing now, you're standing with your feet hip width apart, block wedge between your thighs. Now take your arms parallel, palms down, and with your crown and chest lifted, sit back into a chair pose. Your hips don't have to be as low as your knees, but your hips are significantly behind your heels, right? So we're not taking the lazy round of bringing the knees way beyond the toes. Sit back into those hips, use the big muscles. Super strong arms here, squeeze your triceps. As you do that, soften your shoulders on your back. One more breath, squeezing that block. And stand up. Good. Release. Put the block to the side. And we'll take one round of sun salutations. So now everything is turned on in our bodies. Step to the front of your mat so you face the small edge of your mat. Take your hands at the heart, legs close together. Maybe gaze at the fingertips and just take a quick moment of gratitude. Maybe think, thank you. Now stretch the arms forward, up and back. Stretch into gentle back bends, maybe soft knees. On an exhale, fold forward, standing forward bend again. Go with your own breath. Fingertips on the floor, even if that means bent knees. Now on your next inhale, step your left foot back. Left foot back, way back, and lower the knee to the ground. Option one, keep your fingers on the floor still. Sink your hips forward so you feel that left front hip stretch. Option two, do all that. Hips sink forward, but take your palms together and reach them up and back again into low crescent lunge. Back knee is low. Wherever you are, release your hands to the ground and downward dog. Tread it out, take cleansing breaths here. Now shift forward to a plank. Draw the tailbone to the heels again. We're in plank and inhale. Exhale, lower the knees first and then bend your elbows backward, maybe slightly outward, and lower the chest to the ground. We're laying flat down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. You did both already. Exhale, child's pose. Rise up, step your left foot between your hands, right knee is behind you on the floor. Either you sink your hips down and forward, hands on the floor, or once again, that namaste prayer position with the hands. Raise your arms overhead, look up, stretch back as your belly and hips sink forward. Good, release your fingers to the floor, big inhale. Power up through the legs and step your right foot forward, standing forward bend. Draw lots of air into the bottoms of the lungs. Good. Reach your arms. This is voluntary. You can sweep them out to the side. Also, soft knees. Sweep the arms out in front of you and then arms up to the ceiling. Come to standing. And release your hands down, mountain pose. Ground yourself, maybe thinking, I feel grounded. Good, still standing at the short, facing the short side of the mat, so you have the whole mat behind you. Take your left foot into a tree pose, left foot to right inner thigh. Hands at the heart center and gaze at either the floor a few feet ahead of you or an object higher than the floor. The higher the gaze, the harder the pose. So you're in tree, standing on your right leg with your left foot folded in. Good job. And now take your left foot, step it back into a warrior one. Warrior one, inhale, raise your arms overhead. And now swing your right arm right arm under the left, eagle arms. Right arm under, left elbow is up. Intertwine your forearms like tight ropes, including your wrists. Grab what you can, thumb, fingers, wrist, and lift your elbows high. So in your warrior, your two legs play tug of war. The right thigh more so pulls forward. The left thigh, specifically the inner left thigh, draws back. So you can really ground into that back heel. 2 more breaths. The energy in your spine is not forward or backward, it's upward. So lift the abs up underneath your front ribs. Good, now soften all that and come into warrior two. Arms spread out, the torso turns sideways and you're in that long stance. Left foot behind you, right knee bent in front of you. Warrior warrior two, take your left hand down to the left thigh. Raise your right arm overhead and do it a sideward bend toward the back leg. Still lunging into that right thigh. Super strong legs. Remember the gripping of the feet, the hugging of the ankles, the quads. Come back to warrior two now. Straighten the front leg and probably inch your left foot in just a bit. Back heel turning back for triangle. Ground into your back heel as you reach your right arm beyond your toes in the front. Inhale, and then triangle arms. Exhale, gaze turns to left thumb if available in your neck. Imagine that wall behind you, that your butt is leaning onto that wall already, and you're almost trying to get your shoulders back also toward that wall. Obviously, you're doing that to whatever degree your body will let you without pain, with just a stretch. 2 more breaths. Inhale, come up. You're in a triangle position, but standing upright. I want to add on half moon. Please grab your block. Grab it with your right hand. Now, bend down and put that block on the floor. As you bend your front knee a little, lean your chest forward as you lift your left leg parallel to the ground. You all know half moon pose. If not, please let me know after, or you can unmute yourself right now and ask. So half moon pose, looking up to the left thumb again is probably the biggest challenge in this pose. But if that's not happening, spread your body open. You feel all parts of your body where they are in space, and still look at the floor. That's okay. 2 more breaths. Bend your front knee, look down, and come up to standing. Good job. Step to the front of the mat again. Since we're starting with tree pose, just hang out in mountain for a moment. Go inside. Feel that peace. Feel that stirred up energy coursing through the body. Good. Now tree pose, standing on your left leg. Right foot comes up to left inner thigh. Hands at heart. So once you're a little more proficient in your balance poses, that's a good time to go inside and just be the observer of every part of your body. That's true presence. Now step your right foot back into warrior one. Before you deeply bend your front knee, I want you to anchor down through the back leg, almost like I'm pulling your right shin back and down. That's what gives you that nice stretch in the front right hip. Good. Now reach your arms up to the ceiling in your warrior one and swing your left arm under the right. Eagle arms. Lift the elbows. Another thing, press your hands away from your forehead. All right, from warrior one, open your arms, stretch them out. Warrior two, left knee bends deeply, right foot is back behind you. Good, strong foot ankle foundation here. As you reach your right arm to the ceiling, I'm sorry, of course, reach your left arm to the ceiling, walk your right hand down the back leg. Left arm is up, we're in warrior two here. The back leg, your right leg is firm, the quad is hugging in. Inhale, come back to parallel arms, torso lifts upward. Now straighten your front leg. So your left leg straightens as your back foot walks in a little. Triangle, reach left arm over the toes and then down. Trying to gaze up to the right thumb. Shooting energy out through your fingertips, down into your feet to anchor you to the ground. On an in-breath, come back to that standing triangle. Add on half moon pose if that's in your plan today. Grab your block again, left hand. So we're using this for the left side. Lean over the left leg, bend your left knee a little, plant the block where you need it, and then don't even hop. The more you lean, the back leg just comes off the floor. The more you can make your legs strong and rigid, the more stability and strength you will have in this pose. Good, look down for balance and softly step back into a wide-legged stance. And that's it for our balance pose. So we're in standing here, step your feet wide apart, maybe as long as one of your legs. That's the width between your feet. Stretch your arms behind you into a clasp. Inhale, stretch your chest up, draw the shoulder blades down your back. Take another breath into your heart center. Good, release your clasp and fold forward. Slide your hands down the legs, maybe grab the ankles or the outer feet, which would entail you standing on your fingertips with the outer edges of your feet. Either way, go into that nice forward bend and breathe. Hands to the hips and rise up to standing. Good, let's take it to a child's pose on the floor, please. Just rest, maybe even turning your palms up. Any child's pose that feels good. One more breath here. Good, rise up to all fours. We'll do a prayer twist. Up on tabletop, all fours. Step your right foot forward between your hands, more to your right hand. Place your hands to your front thigh. Back knee is grounded, but you can opt to go into a full lunge. Now take your left elbow and on an exhale, wrap that left elbow past the right thigh, hook it to the outer thigh, and place your hands together in a prayer, right? So the left elbow is hooked to the outer right thigh. Look over toward the right elbow if you can, but the idea is turn your chest also, so your chest turns toward your thumbs. Good. Now, if you want to lift your back leg, you tuck your left toes into the ground, lean your center of gravity slightly forward, so you get to pick up that left knee and be in a full lunge. Prayer twist lunge. And I know this is a hard pose, a lot is going on. The foot placement matters. So if your left foot is a little to the left, it'll give you a wider base for balance. Take one more breath. Look down at the floor, put your hands on the floor, lower your back knee, that's the left knee, and come into a half split. So slide your right heel forward a little, flex your foot, and bow down over that right leg. If you feel that you could do the following part, walking your hands past over the right leg, almost like you want to walk a circle around yourself to the right, which will give you again a nice IT band stretch because it tugs on the right hip and pulls it back. Good job. Unwind and return to child's pose. Alternatively, if you don't want to do child's pose, go down dog. If you're in down dog and you want a stronger practice, shift to plank. From plank on an exhale, lower knees, chest and head down. From there, push up to cobra or up dog, inhale. And let's come all of us to tabletop, knees on the floor, and step your left foot between your hands. Hands to the front thigh, lift your torso. Right knee's on the ground behind you. Remember that foot placement is important for your lunge twist. Take on an exhale, wrap your right elbow past your left thigh, place your palms together in prayer twist, and then follow the cues that we did on the first set if you want to lift your back knee. It's very important you find a place to breathe into. So your belly is kind of twisting, so don't do deep belly breathing. Your belly's also engaging, so breathe into your side ribs, You can still breathe into your diaphragm. Of course, you have a lot of space in your back ribs for one more. Look down, hands to the floor, back knee drops, half split. Walk your hands over to the left if you want. Carefully come back and let's take it to downward facing dog. Downward dog once more, tread it out here. And now sweep your right leg to the ceiling. Open your right hip today. So lift the right hip, no square in here. Lift that right hip as high as you can, and then forward into pigeon pose. Hear the sound of your breathing for about 2 more. Good. Lift your torso in your pigeon. Reach back with whichever hand you want and grab the back ankle. So bend your knee, of course. Release and go back to downward facing dog. Sweep your left leg up, open the hip up. Reach, 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 and then forward into pigeon. Good. Again, just let yourself relax, hips sink down and back. Listen to the breathing and enjoy just being present in your body and with the stretch. Couple more. Good. Lift your torso, reach back and grab your right ankle. Release that ankle, sit to one side, and let's come to seated and go right into the next pose. Step the soles of your feet together. Sit up tall, sit on a prop like I am, or sit on the floor, but try to sit shoulders over hips and don't round any part of your body backward. Lean in if you want. Good. Come back up. Let's step the feet on the mat. If you're on your prop, I would probably come off of it. Take your arms forward, parallel, or grab your back of your thighs. Lean back and pick up your feet into boat pose. So boat pose. So maybe you used your hands to pick up your legs initially, and now you feel strong in your belly, so you can raise your arms forward or keep supporting your thighs. The last thing you want is tailbone or low back pain, so try to be on your sitting bones, not sink back to your tailbone. Oh, good. Lower down. I'm assuming you did this. Drop your knees, feet to the floor. Hug your arms around your knees and drop your forehead toward the knees. Egg pose. Good, so we're kind of getting a little rounded and short here, that's fine, but now let's lift your chest, extend your legs forward, and here we're looking for length. And even if you're using your belt, that's fine, but I still want you to extend. Either arms without belt or hold the belt like this. Inhale, reach up, lift out of your armpits, out of your waist, and then fold forward and put the belt over the feet, or just grab whatever you can and take 5 breaths. And after that, let's release and lie on the back. And what I'd like you to do is do your own version for a moment of a shoulder stand. So you can put a block under your hips, extend your legs up, but I know at least one person in the class right now usually does shoulder stand. Just watch the shoulder curl. But if you can go up into shoulder stand, go there. Good, and then roll out of that and just lie flat. We need more time, take that time, otherwise. Shavasana, couple deep breaths. Good, final spinal twist. Take your left foot and step it gently on top of the right thigh, not the kneecap, a little higher. Stretch your left arm over to the left, and then with the other hand, grab the left knee and pull it across your body into a twist. Let your spine soften. Take 2 more breaths here. We always emphasize the twisting on the exhale. So come back, and then let's go back to Shavasana, legs together though. And now other side, right foot steps gently on left thigh. Left hand draws that knee across the body to the left. Look over to the outstretched right arm. All right, unwind, come back. Bend both knees into your chest and come to happy baby pose as our final asana today. And release your legs to the floor. And we have time, so please give yourself a moment here to just relax without any movement. So Shavasana, spread out on your mat again. Make sure there's no tension anywhere, so bring your legs fairly wide. The inner thighs can relax. Arrange your shoulders down the back, but without pinching them, so keep them broad. Maybe slowly lift your arms and gently drop them back to the ground, but there's no holding pattern there. Eyes are closed. Let's open all our channels to receive good, positive energy. We create that energy within that in turn attracts energy, like energy around us. So allow your eyes to close even more thoroughly now. All the tiny muscles around your eyes are relaxing. Forehead, back of the head, temples relax. Big muscles in the upper back and neck. Let them relax and unwind. Feel your arms and legs limp on the floor. Letting go of any tension. Notice how good it feels to just let go. Zero effort. As you lie here, bring your awareness to the center of your chest, the place where we usually feel joy, and either just hover there or even think the words, thank you, or grateful. Let your body soak in that energy. Deepen your next breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And now stretch your arms overhead. Let's reawaken your body. Arms release down, bend your knees in. And roll to one side into a final seated position. Hands placed at the heart center, bow your head. Namaste.